This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everyone. She runs deep when it comes to healing in so many different forms, whether it's traditional healing, whether it's ancient Chinese medicine healing. They all work. They all have a place. And today we're going to look at Parkinson's. More and more cases every year being diagnosed. I don't know why that is. Maybe she has some insight on that. And what can we do to support those with Parkinson's? She is the founder of Path to Wellness in Tulsa, acupuncture, massage, so many other modalities. Herbs, thank you, Chinese medicine,
Okay.
and a lot more. Teresa Wilkinson, who, by the way, is a registered nurse, is back with us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Real good, real good. The
Good. Okay.
Parkinson's, I'm hearing more and more cases of it, and I don't know why that is. Are you seeing or hearing more?
I am, and that's just seemed to bring it to my attention to talk about it today because a lot of people, suffer very debilitating and don't have a lot of answers. And I thought, well, if we put some suggestions out there, maybe that may help some people who may hear this.
Hmm.
Because I have one of my patients who's in his 90s has a son in Houston and has it so bad that he falls all the time. So he's a fall risk. So he, of course, can't drive and has to have somebody take care of him. And so there's can be a downhill slope, but some people can respond to different treatments and carry on pretty normally and be independent and still drive. So,
Hmm.
but it seems like I keep hearing about it more. And so it made me want to dig deeper about it. So one of the, so I will looked at the causes. Okay, so acupuncture, and of course, a lot of herbs and supplements are very beneficial. And also, we have these patches that help with activating your own stem cells and work with glutathione, which is one of the supplements that's very beneficial for toxins. So, getting back to some of the causes, one of the big things is dopamine in our brain. It's one of the main hormones or endorphins in our brain, and it's what makes us feel good, happy. Um, so I once I heard somebody was taking it for the Parkinson's, I started taking it because I thought, well, if it's the feel good endorphin and it helps your brain work better and keeps your brain on the good side of being happy and joyful, uh, why not? And then they even help your sex drive. I don't know.
I get that's where I get most
Let's
of my
get
dopamine.
so anyway, you can get it actually on
Yeah,
Amazon.
honestly, I
Not
read that. I read that recently that it gives you a hit of dopamine. And I'm like, all right, interesting. Duly noted. All right. Didn't know
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
so the 99% stuff comes in a powder, and you take an eighth of a teaspoon with water morning and night. And
Okay.
so
I
I
want to
saw
make sure I'm on the page here. Um, the teaspoon is of, say it again,
an eighth of a teaspoon. So
eighth
you
of a
just take
teaspoon.
a tiny, yeah, a tiny bit, and it's in a powder form. So I just get a spoon, dip it in my little bag of powder from Amazon, and but it's 99%. So I thought that's pretty good. So the main medication that they give to Parkinson's patients is dopamine, and there's two different medications, but it's to um, support the dopamine. It's a dopamine, but synthetically made. So why
So
not take the natural?
the eighth of
So
a teaspoon, that substance is fill in the blank. What?
L dopamine.
It
It's
is.
called. It is pure 99% L dopamine. Now you can get it in. there's other supplements that are other percents, but I thought I want to go with the 99%
Heck yeah.
and
So
go with the pure substance
I
and
didn't
just take
know
the powder.
I didn't know that you could have that, take that, that it was available. So Parkinson's over, we're going to park Parkinson's for like 15 seconds. Do you notice when you take the L-dopamine, just an eighth of a teaspoon twice a day, I think you said,
Right, morning, night, yeah.
do you notice an elevated feeling? Do you just feel a little more happy or a little lighter? Do you actually notice
I
anything?
Yeah, I have noticed, and I've also noticed like a whole different relationship with my husband.
Hmm.
Meaning we're like we first met kind of deal, where we more euphoric with being amorous and
Oh,
being just kind of a elevated, like when we first met kind of deal.
oh,
And
I'm intrigued.
so I ask a lot of couples, are you still holding hands? Do you hold hands while you watch TV? And a lot of people go, oh no, we're in two different rooms. We watch two different things. We don't, da, 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 da. Or, do you hold hands like, watching a movie, or, or do you sleep together, and no, we sleep in the separate rooms, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. So I always kind of check, okay, where are people at in their marriages uh, with their relationship, with their intimacy. I know my parents were going on 75 years, and they still held hands. They still had a type of intimacy, even though they had real busy lives with a lot of different responsibilities and things, and traveled and that kind of thing. But and they knew each other from high school,
Wow.
but they still tried to keep that intimacy going. And I think that's really important.
Hmm.
So anyway, so I think this. So I kind of when I heard about that L-dopamine, I thought, I'm going to try that, and I think it's has made a difference. I deal with a lot of pain from some previous surgery, so anything to help me be on the light, happy side instead of moaning and groaning side,
100%.
that's always.
And again, we we're done today. I am ordering my L-dopamine, and why not? I mean, it's
Yeah.
and if you look at it in certain ways, it's almost like a love potion. Just saying, just saying.
Yeah,
So,
it really is. So,
wow.
uh,
Hmm.
anyway, I didn't know we were going to take off that way, but
I
it's
know,
not.
but it's
It's
and
a
why
good
not? And
it's a
why not?
good it's a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
good thing. So, only 10 to 15% of Parkinson's is caused by genetics, so it's not really genetics. So the biggest hit is environmental. And if you think about, since World War II, we've been spraying our crops with pesticides and herbicides. Um, and so a lot of and then our water has heavy metals in it. A lot of times our water, manufacturing has been dumping in the rivers. And when you're even out like where I am in the country, even beyond the city of Tulsa actually gets their water from Spavinaw, which is a spring fed water source, but every other town around or suburb of Tulsa a lot of times gets their water from a river that a lot of manufacturing dumps in. And so I know our Arkansas River, which is a large river, has a lot of toxins in it. So I had an environmentalist. I was down there letting my dog swim in the water, and this environmentalist told me, he says, don't let your dog swim in that river. It's full of toxins. And sure enough, he ended up getting cancer, and he didn't live very long. But the I had my hair tested, checking out inflammatory issues because of a surgery where I had rods put in. Turns out I was allergic to the titanium that was put in. So I was looking, doing different testing for that. And in my hair, it showed lead and all kinds of heavy metals. So that tells me I probably got that from water. They also talked about well water. So I was growing up and visiting my grandparents at the farm, we drank out of the well. They had a bucket that came up, and there was a dipper that hung on the side of the bucket. Everybody drank out of that bucket of water that came from the well.
Mm.
So, so that was before there was running water, electric. Uh, you had an outhouse, and I don't know if you realize, but a lot of pioneers died from contaminated water because they put the outhouses too close to the house and next to the well, and they didn't realize that just with the rock and mortar uh, lining that there would be seepage. And
Wow.
so, a lot of people in the 1800s died of that. And so, anyway, our water. So, everybody really needs to have a water purifier, not just a filter on the refrigerator. You got to take a step above and have that on your sinks and stuff for your water.
Whoa. Okay. So I just changed the filter in my refrigerator because that's where I get my water. I haven't consumed tap water in 40 years. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
Part of the reason is where I live, they've identified areas of the groundwater that are suspected to cause cancer, specifically breast cancer on Long Island, and numbers are somewhere like 1 in 8. Uh,
Wow. That's a lot.
it was 1 in 9. Now it went down. Not even kidding. I'm not making that up. And I have a very close friend I worked with. She was not even, she wasn't even 40. And this is 3 years ago. She passed from breast cancer. And she's thoroughly convinced that it came from the groundwater nearby because there were toxic dumping, et cetera, et cetera. So that said, you said the
Right.
filter in the refrigerator is uh, it's not
Not
what we
enough.
think it is. Not enough.
Not enough. Not enough. You need to have. Uh, there's multi-pure is one that I've used that has more than one type of filter in it, and it's been well known. It's another thing that you can get on Amazon now. Used to you had to go through the company and get it, but it's been around a long time. A lot of times people get these real extensive distillation apparatuses, which take over a whole countertop, and I'm not going to do that because I want some of the minerals in the water, not everything distilled out. But water is definitely big. And of course, a lot of people,
Hmm.
well, anymore we have bottled water. Anywhere you go, say a doctor's office or anything, they'll offer water. There's not out of drinking fountain. Nobody's drinking out of drinking fountains anymore. It's more bottled water and that kind
Oh,
of thing. So we're trying to kind of upgrade our water source. We have a town um, outside of Tulsa that was completely shut down. It was called Pitcher, Oklahoma. It was close to where Mickey Mantle grew up. His parents and grandparents moved there to do the mining. It was the lead used for World War I and World War II, the ammo. And so Mickey Mantle's grandfather was left-handed, his dad was right-handed, and they pitched to him both ways. It actually kind of aggravated him, but he became the best switch hitter
wow.
in history. So anyway, that's where he came from. But they shut it down because of all the cancer, and they just realized it was all the heavy metals in the water. Now, there's another factor that can be from a lot of inflammation and stress. So that takes us back to um, stress management, good sleeping well, good sleep habits. There's a couple of herbs that I use to help with sleep. One is called valerian root, and it's what they figured out how to make Valium from. Another one is called Calms Forte, and the base of it is passion flower. But there are herbs you can take to help you sleep. I know melatonin's a common one, but I haven't. A lot of people don't really respond to that well. But
Yes.
if you have trouble sleeping, be sure you keep those on hand. And even if you wake up at 2 in the morning and need to get back to sleep, you can take one of those little Coms Forte. They're a little tablet, and within 15-30 minutes, you can go back to sleep. The other trick is to count backwards from 200 or 300 And what that does is it keeps your mind so busy on what number you're supposed to be on that it keeps you from thinking of all the gazillion things that you can get your mind caught up on and keep you from going back to sleep.
Is
That's
it
what happens
true?
is the brain gets too busy.
I and I've heard that, and I always kind of laughed at it. The what's I going to do counting sheep and all that, or counting whatever it is. Until somebody led a meditation I was part of, and you were counting and even counting your breathing to get your mind off of it. Melatonin.
Uh,
I heard that you need to be careful about not taking too much melatonin because it's going to mess up the.
your
It's
own melatonin.
yes,
Yeah, you're something within your own body. Yeah, I've heard that too.
yeah.
I concur. And then the only other cause is they call it a gut brain connection, and it's from the vagus nerve, and it's talks about if you're constipated, you're not taking your probiotics, you're not doing um, like fermented foods like kombucha and sauerkraut and things like that, or Greek yogurt. Uh, that if you don't help with your gut, that it can cause again if you're constipated and you're having trouble, that is going to be another form of inflammation. But they say it affects the vagus nerve going from the gut to the brain.
Mm.
And so that's another source cause of the Parkinson's. But we're seeing it more and more, and I don't know if it's just because of our food is sprayed more. I know I have a farmer from Kansas that comes to Oklahoma, and they spray 4 times. They spray the ground before they plant, they spray it after they plant, they spray it while it's growing, and then they actually spray before they harvest to kill the plant so that all they have to do in the machinery is picking up the grain.
So
And
back
so
to
in the Midwest, we're more, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to get before we run out of time back to Parkinson's for a moment. Um, I'm hearing many different things. One of them is, and you practice this, acupuncture can help people with Parkinson's. Have you heard that?
Trem- Tremendously. So one thing that it does, it's helping with the tremors, the stiffness, the sleep, the anxiety, the fatigue. So if you can help calm down that nervous system, and you can calm down the tremors, and you can calm down that anxiety, and then the different rigidness that can come from leg spasms and that kind of thing, and help with coordination. It helps with the depression, and then so it does have a lot, and even going back to the spine and the brain. So there's certain points that are helpful for all those different things, and
Mm.
so I do have people that come in for acupuncture, and they do have all these symptoms we've talked about, and they're still driving. So I've still kept them independent and driving. So that's good. But it is interesting how the anxiety will get to them. And I don't know if it's because of the shaking, but the L-dopamine is one of the key things, whether it be the pharmaceutical that your doctor orders or the natural. I'd be tempted to do both just so I'm getting natural in as well as the
Mm.
pharmaceutical. But
Even I have somebody I'm close to is with somebody who has had Parkinson's for years, and many different things that were tried. Even I don't know how to describe this, but they um, did something to the brain where they put certain leads in there and some device or something like that to control the tremors and things. And after all of that, it wasn't working. Apparently, they didn't hit the right spot within the brain. It was done again. Uh, a little bit better, but after all of that invasive procedure, still, medication still. I don't know if they tried acupuncture though. Got to check on that.
right. Acupuncture is pretty powerful, and then there's a lot of different, like the glutathione. It helps NAC, which is in acetylthymine, coenzyme alpha lipic acid. there's a lot of the amino acids. Now, that's another thing that amino acids are, the peptides are a chain, part of the chain of the amino acids. So anytime you can get into different peptides, they help. So they're going to end in an INE for like amino acid. So there's a lot of different supplements out there that can really help. And then if you go back to even thinking of Tai Chi, yoga, if you're having trouble with tension anxiety and you work in your imbalance in your legs, if you're working with some um, Alexander technique we talked about before, or
Sure.
Pilates, yoga, Tai Chi, I would think would be very helpful because you're doing movement and you're doing relaxation. But anyway, especially I think when you're in a city where you have access to these classes through different gyms and studios, take advantage of it.
We went in so many different directions today, but in a good way. Learned a lot about so many different areas. It's amazing, and we brought it back home to Parkinson's as well. Um, this is what you do. You run deep, and in a fabulous way, right down to safe drinking water. Never thought we'd go there, but oh my gosh, I mean that's it's so important to talk about. TulsaPath.com is your website, right?
Right. And you can also find me under Path to Wellness, Tulsa. And you can message on Facebook or even call at 918-494-0082. And
Yeah.
anyway, we're here. We're here to help.
You have a great center in Tulsa. I'm sure virtually if somebody needs some help with things that you can support that way, that can also be done. Thank you for everything today, Teresa. Wow.
Okay.
L-dopamine. It's on my list.
It's on the list.
Gonna
Yeah.
get it. Gonna get it.
All
All right.
right. Okay.
We'll catch up next
All
time.
right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Take
This
care.
is the Global Podcast Network, where executives. This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.